beautiful people. How are you doing? In case you're just joining us for the first time, please don't forget to click on subscribe. And in case you are we like as in we are together in this business, you've been following. I will say thank you. I also want to welcome our new subscribers. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for subscribing. Thank you for loving me endlessly. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to start feeling too emotional about it. But thank you guys for following, and also our newcomers, you're welcome. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy every session of this therapy because we have a lot in store. You can't imagine. What do? We talk about psychological issues in the society and we give psychological solutions to them. My name is Rema. I'm your psychotherapist, and let me put package in there. Now a relationship and mental coach, which is actually making me so happy. It's certified on for the matter. So thank you guys for always supporting me to be the best. I really love you. Sit back, relax, and guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. We've been talking about relationship service this month, and note that we've been talking about the psychology of relationship. We said so much. If you've not watched my previous video, I would advise you to go back and watch. Thank you to everyone that has been commenting on the video so far. I've gotten so many questions and I've been able to reply a lot in my DM, and also I've been able to talk about a lot of things. Actually, I am not really happy to bring this news to you, but I have no choice. I just have to tell you the news that I'm about to break to you. Okay, here's the news. I'm going to be rounding up everything as regards relationship this month. Hopefully, in previous months and years to come, we are still going to be taking note of certain matters that arises. But according to our series, this month is for psychology of relationship, and next month we'll be starting a new topic on psychology of another topic. You can be guessing in the mind of your mind. So, but this month will be rounding up. So I'll be rounding up. I actually had to sit down and I was just meditating. I was just like, what will I use to round up? Relationship is really a wide something, so it's not something you can really exhaust in a day. And I was like, God, what will I use to round? And when a word came into my spirit, I was like, yeah, exactly what I needed. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about psychology, relationships, and differences. Sorry about that. So I'm going to be talking about relationship and differences, and I've emphasized a lot of things as regards differences and getting to know people from the beginning of my series. If you've been following, I am sure you will understand so much that's said on this platform. So when we talk about differences, we are talking about what makes another individual different to another individual. What makes me different to every other person outside there, either my friends, my family, my sisters, my siblings, my parents. Fine. It is something that we all know that our inherited behavior are from two major things, which psychologists have been unable to come to agreement till date. Maybe one of these days I'll be the one to bring agreement to it. Don't mind me. So we know that a lot of things, a lot of behavior attitudes that we inherit are from our background and experiences. When I say background, I mean our parents, what we've watched them do, how we've seen them behave, and so many things. And I've always emphasized in this relationship series that we are all from different background and experiences. So there are so many things about life that is not built in a day. We just need to understand how we are configured to be able to bring some things to place. So I'm going to be giving you guys psychological facts, five psychological facts about differences in relationship, and how, probably if time permits us, I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how you really need to deal with some of them, because there's something we call coping mechanism in psychology. I would have, in fact, I would have shared so many things to you now, but time is not always permitting me to talk. That's why I say so little. But when I'm opportune to see people and we get to talk about things, life and things like that, I get to explore more. And don't mind me, if you meet me for the first time, I'm not that kind of person that engage in all this shabby conversation. I'm sorry to say, I engage in deep conversations. I will connect with you so fast that we talk about so many things. This is actually, by the way, not a topic for today. So, going to number one psychological fact about differences, you have to accept the fact that you didn't grow up the same way. Accept the fact that you didn't grow up the same way. One thing about life is that, fine, we have, when you meet a spouse or you're in a relationship or friendship with people, we always have so many high expectations. Like, those expectations are always high. Why? Because we ourselves lived and grew under so many expectations. And because we grew under so many expectations, so we expect those people to be like us. Like, we expect them to even know more than us to certain extent, forgetting the fact that we didn't grow up from the same background, we didn't grow up from the same experience. So they can't even think like us. That's the funniest thing. So for them to be able to think like us, probably they would have lived with us for some years, and they begin to see how we do things, and begin to, if they can actually cope at the end of the day, they become to blend to their spouses. That's after marriage. So sometimes one of the major issues that people go through in relationship is differences, because the background and the experiences, the manners, the attitude are not the same. When I say attitude, I'm not talking about just how you behave. I'm also talking about your reactions and approach to things around you. So the way people really react and approach to things is really so different, especially for male and female. For female, you may be going through so many things at that particular time, and because you don't have a positive attitude of really reacting to that stuff, you tend to want to, like, okay, let me just do it the way I felt. This is how I know how to do it. And for male too, this is how I was taught. As okay, I went to a market, and I was talking to a man, and as we got a matured man, a grown up man, married and have kids, and as we got talking, he was like, if I'm your husband, I won't just be giving you money. You have to tell me how much you want to use to buy that thing before I can give you money. I was like, wow, that's cool. And I said, okay, if you, I gave him back instantly. I said, if you are my husband, I will not even stress myself giving you, telling you how much I want to buy things. I will just write the list of the things I want to buy, and I will give it to you. You go to the market yourself and buy it. I'll cook it for you. We will have peace in the house. There's no problem. So the most important thing is coping mechanism. Understand that we are not the same. So from that perspective, I always spoke to that man that we are not the same. So I had that ideology that we are not the same. So let me go to number two. Number two psychological differences in relationship is understanding that we don't learn the same way. Every behavior and attitude is a function of learning, and learning is a long-term process. We keep learning till we die. That is depending on how open and how flexible we are to learning. There are some people that they are not even open to learning, they are not open to change, they are not flexible. That's why you see some of the relationships that should not crush. That's why you see some of the things that should not even go haywire, go here, or go so. Why? Because people are not open to learning. In our journey in life, we have to be open to learning and experiences, and we have to be sure about what we want to be open to. So when I say being open to learning, I'm not talking about you being open to negative things that you literally know that this is way beyond bounds. Like, this is so way beyond what a man should handle or something. So you don't live and start tolerating some things. The two spouses must be open to new things, new adventure, getting new knowledge about each other, because humans are unpredictable. One of the things I understand psychologically is you cannot predict a man in a day. You cannot predict a man in 2 days. You will continue to learn about that person till death. I said in my previous video. So in the process of learning about that person, the attitude, the behavior, why the person behaves the way they behave, you have to be open to see those new things. You have to be open to observe those new activities. So in the process of learning about individual differences, it will actually help you to know how to develop strategies to be able to cope with your spouse. So I go to number three. Number three is that you have to understand what you can cope with. I said something about coping mechanisms. Many people don't even know what they can cope with. So some people, they believe they can cope with so many things, and they just put up with things that they even should not put up with. For example, there's something called calling disorder. Is calling disorder is when a person is under an abusive relationship, and you've coped to the extent that every of the mechanism in your body is used to it. So that person develop a disorder. So you cannot really bring people like that away from a violent relationship easily. Why? Because they've developed a coping a coping mechanism to accept their abuses part way, which should naturally be. So I believe everybody should have a limit of what they think they can deal with in a relationship. You should know what you can put up with. So what you cannot put up with, you should embrace the courage, the braveness to really learn to open up. Now, in the process of more opening up and communicating, because ability to open up boils down to communication in a relationship. So in the process of learning to communicate, the question should be, how do I communicate to my spouse or my friend that, okay, I think I can't put up with this particular attitude because I really, really don't like it, and I would love it if you become a better person. There are some people that they love to be corrected harshly. There are some people that they don't even like it at all. There are some people that they like it when they are a good environment before you actually say some things to them. So you need to understand the best way in which you can communicate certain weaknesses or certain things you don't like about a relationship to your spouse in such a way that they can accept it. You know, there are some spouse that if they have not shout like this, if they have not shout on their spouse, they will not have peace. So it's until they shout before you shall know that that's really, really pain them. So you have to understand that, okay, this is what works for you, this is what doesn't work for you. And until you understand that, you might literally not be able to adjust to each other's differences. In fact, you might find it hard learning to live with each other's differences because you are not talking. So one person will be tolerating the other, and the person that is tolerating will be frustrated. And once you are frustrated, before you know it, you are already outside looking for ways to chill yourself, ways to get yourself well, and things like that. So, lastly, on the five psychological factors of differences that I am going to be talking about is the fact that you must live with the fact that some differences won't be changed. Let me tell you the truth now. Now. I'm telling you. But make sure that the differences that cannot be changed are things that you know you can adapt to and live with. Now, I'm not telling you to live with something toxic. Get it? I would not encourage anybody to adapt to a toxic attitude that you know is not working for you, or is bringing more harm to the family, or is making that home a dysfunctional family. No, I won't advise that. But there are certain things that, for example, now the man that married the man I illustrated earlier, I said, so if I am your wife, I will just give you list. Go and buy it. If I'm okay with it, fine, go and buy it. But if I'm not okay, uncle, you have to give me money and put some change into it because I might need to buy some things. It's as simple as that. So you have to understand what you can tolerate. To which extent can you tolerate certain things? In the place of you being overly patient, don't be overly patient that you tolerate things that you should not tolerate. I was watching one of Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo's relationship teaching, and he said something that seems very profound in that. What you know you don't like about a man, speak out. You cannot say you do it, say, "Eh, let's just swallow it." Or what you know you don't like about a lady. Probably you don't like the way your babe is always doing some certain things. You have to embrace it and speak. You have to learn to say that, say, this thing cannot follow us until marriage. Children must not meet me. I have someone that's very, very close to me. Whenever he and his spouse has something that seems to be an argument or something, so the next thing, just tell his spouse is, see, this behavior that you are doing, your child must not meet it in your hand. Now that seems so funny. That's the best way he could communicate to his spouse. But the truth about it is actually a very, very profound one, because initially when the lady comes to me and talks to me, she tells me that, see, for my babe to say this thing, the child must not, I think I need to work on this thing. And the truth about it is you can work on your differences. That's why we have strategies for personality development. You can contact me to get more on strategies for personality development, how to work on yourself and become a better person, even not just for your spouse, not just for your relationship, even for the society, discovering your purpose and becoming a better person. Those are things, part of the things we do psychologically and help people about. So I would implore you guys to really, really take note of what I just said about five psychological differences. And then probably in my videos to come, I'm going to be exploring more on kind of men that we have, how to relate with them, and so many things. But my time is really, really, really up. I would have loved to say so much more. In case you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us thumbs up. And in case you are just joining us for the first time, you come across this video, don't forget to click on subscribe. We promise to serve you at the very peak of the best and the best and the best, because we are doing our best to become the best also. I'm your psychotherapist, I'm your praying prophet, and I am everything you want to see in a good woman. That's what the scripture says about Proverbs 31 woman. I'm also a certified marriage counselor and relationship therapist. I'll see you guys when I see you. Don't forget to comment in our sections, and don't forget to invite friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I love you guys.